bit of research on the internet, looking at different ways and variations. This is how we decided to come up with a skateboard designs. Took some of the best of every video and combined them. First thing we did, draw out a pattern, come up with some dimensions. Off those dimensions, then you come up with a template of what you want to do, which has exactly all your measurements and everything else. After that, you got to decide what type of wood to use. We went with a Baltic birch because it splits less and it's a little bit cheaper to work with than maple. Cut out multiple size because you want to laminate it for strength. Because one piece obviously bends too much. When you use multiple pieces, you can get a good lamination and a good solid board. Next thing you need to do is you need to use a glue that will be weatherproof and not deteriorate when it gets wet. Smear your glue on each layer, starting with your bottom. Foam roller seems to work the best for it. You roll your glue on the one side, roll your glue on there. Your middle section has to be glued on both sides. Glue that section, put them together, you even them up. Now to get it together, we put it into a press. The press will make the shape of the board. When the boards are inserted into the press, jump. Boards are fully inserted into the press, which is a two-person job. You want to make sure they're perfectly aligned. That way they're completely symmetrical as far as centered in the press and centered this way in the press. Press goes down. Use the nuts and bolts, squeeze it together. Leave it in the press till the glue dries. 24 hours is usually sufficient. At that point, you reopen the press, you take it out, and then you have a compressed board like this. At that point, you take your template. You're going to get your template on the board. Measure it off exactly where you need it. Mark it so the complete thing's symmetrical. And then you can, depending on what type of saw you have, you can use a saw. Make sure you're using your safety glasses and ear protection. Cut out along your lines to get your basic shape of the board. After that, you need to go through, and the board is pretty square at this point. It's time to determine what size how you want the sides, whether you want them rounded or beveled. You can use something like a Dremel. You can use a
orbital sander.
Whatever the case may be. Start rounding off your edges, get out some of the imperfections from the saw, and at that point, you're ready to go stain the board.